Hi everyone, my name is Tina. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. It's Halloween, so I'm going to be sharing you a story while I get ready about how my daughter got possessed. This room is being renovated, hence why I thought this would be a great idea to sit here and talk about this chilling story. When Diana was 4 years old, and right now she's 7 years old, this happened here at this house. It was around 4 or 5 p.m. Out of nowhere, Diana tells me that she sees a black dog. I didn't think much of it because here in Thailand, especially where we live, there are a ton of stray dogs in our area. As the evening went on, we decided to take a shower. Everything was fine until suddenly she decided to close her eyes tight. At first I thought it was shampoo in her eyes, but actually it was way worse than that. We decided to get out of the shower. I then went downstairs to see my mom and I told her what happened. My mom was trying to distract her from crying. While I was being a mom, I thought something was wrong with her eye. Something got in her eye, right? So I quickly packed a hospital bag while my mom was trying to calm her down. My mom was picking her up, walking her around, trying to calm her down. We both tried to open her eyes with our fingertips like that. It didn't work. This time she didn't say a word. She was just crying. It was the kind of cry where someone told you not to cry. You're just kind of keeping it in. It's that kind of cry. It was really weird. As I'm packing my hospital bag, my mom then comes in and she's like, she's fine now. And Diana looked so normal. It looked like nothing happened to her. It looked like she didn't even remember what happened. And I asked what happened to my mom. She said she picked her up, tried to comfort her. In our house, we have a Buddha shrine. Here's a picture. My mom told Diana to look at the black Buddha, and then suddenly she opened her eyes, went back to normal, and it just seemed like nothing ever happened. Like she just went back to giggly, happy Diana. I was left there thinking what the f just happened? So a week later, we decided to take a little family trip. We went to the northeast of Thailand. We drove there, which was around 6 hours. It was pretty long. Diana was very tired in the end. We arrived at the farm around I would say almost sunset, like 5 to 6 p.m. When we arrived, we had an amazing time with our family, amazing dinner, everything went fine until we went to take a shower again. And when we were done with the shower, I turned on the AC and Diana looked up at the AC and she told me to turn it off. She told me to turn off the AC and she kept repeating that. Then she started crying and I was like, that is really strange for her to say that. Considering how the weather is just so hot, she would never say that. She was so adamant. She was like, turn it off, but she looked like something was staring at her. She did not look normal. It didn't seem normal. So as I was looking for the remote control, I finally found it. And when I found it, I turned around to look back at Diana and her eyes were closed again. And I was like, is this happening again? Really? The best part about this was that my aunties and uncles were there to witness the incident with me. So her eyes were shut just like before, the crying, the quiet cry, all that jazz. So this was happening in the bedroom, and so I ran out to the kitchen to tell my aunties and uncle what was happening. They quickly ran to see Diana. They picked her up and my auntie gave her a little Buddha to hold. I was a bit freaked out, okay? I was like, let this be the final time. My mom was there, so she's like, is this really happening again? I'm like, yes, it is. Everybody was panicking. Heart was racing. I felt like we were in some sort of horror movie. My aunties and uncles were giving her that little Buddha to hold, and my mom again was like, look at the Buddha will make you feel better, look at it. But this time she did not open her eyes. It didn't work. I decided, why don't we take her to the temple that's right next door, just 10-15 minutes away. Mind you, this time it was like 8 to 9 p.m. It was dark, it was late, and it was way past her bedtime. So she was not only exhausted from the 6-hour drive, but she's exhausted from this happening again. I tell you, as a mom, I felt so helpless. I didn't know what to do, what to say. I'm so blessed that my family were there to witness it and help. So we drove to the temple, and as soon as we entered the temple, right, she started to breathe really, really hard. And she was sitting in the front passenger seat with my auntie, and I was in the back with my other auntie. My other person driving was my mom, okay? So she started to breathe really, really hard, and then she turned to look at my auntie that she was sitting with, and she started to smile, and it was the creepiest smile ever. I saw it in the back seat. I was like, what the was going on. My auntie said in Thai, like, hey, don't look at me like that. And then she proceeded to say, "Khao pai lao," which means she's gone already. And we were all just looking at each other like, okay, who's gone? Who's pai lao? Who pai kai pai? Huh? So when we went inside the temple, the dogs started howling, okay? And that is a sign that is not very cutesy, not very demure, very scary indeed. The dogs started howling. The monks came out. It was dark. I really appreciate for them coming out to see what was going on. My aunties, my mom and I and Diana, we were sitting there, we were praying. So after the chanting, we told the monks what happened, and they said that your daughter could possibly have been possessed by a spirit that just wants her attention or just needs help. And then he said something really strange. And the monk said sometimes spirits like to turn themselves into animals, such like a black dog. Do you remember when I told you the first incident she said she saw a black dog? I was so creeped out. I looked at my mom, she looked at me, we both went quiet. We were like, dude. We went back to the farm and everything was fine. However, we decided to sleep in a different room. She just would not go to that house for some reason. Everything was fine, all was good at the farm. Nothing happened again until we went back home to Bangkok. Diana was playing in her playroom again and she started to scream. And I somehow knew that it was happening again just from that scream. I was in the kitchen, I was washing the dishes. I just knew as soon as I heard her scream, I knew it was happening again because I think she dropped something and then I heard her scream. So I ran out to see what was happening and once again, her eyes were closed. She didn't look at the Black Buddha. Her eyes didn't open. It didn't work. My mom and I at that time felt so helpless. We didn't know what to do. We were panicking. And I think about 10 minutes after that, her eyes opened and she went back to normal. And my mom and I were so confused. And my mom suggested, let's just go to the temple. We told the monk what happened, everything. And he said, yep, she's possessed. Like he said it in a very casual way. And I asked the monk if this is gonna happen again because this is the third time. The monk then said this might be the last time, or if it does happen again, please come back to us. He did say that, however, you will know when the spirit has left. We got in the car, and as we were driving, Diana then threw up all over the car, all over her shirt. See, normally when she throws up, she cries right after that because it's, you know, it's not a good feeling. It's an uncomfortable feeling throwing up. But this time she threw, it was so weird. It was like she was looking at the window and then, like a little burp, but the throw up came out. It was like, and then she just looked at me like normal. My mom then thought, okay, maybe that means that this spirit has left. Nothing has happened since, and I am truly blessed that my mom and my family were there to experience this whole creepy incident with me. If this happened to me when I was alone, I would have probably taken her to the hospital because I was packing a hospital bag, okay? I am forever grateful. However, those memories will forever be etched in here, okay? If you have any spooky stories, let me know in the comments. Remember to always cherish your loved ones because they are there to help you, okay? Love you, bye!